I waited for proof, and when I got it, he had to go. I didn't leave. I removed him. For almost a year, I knew he was lying. He continued pretending he was innocent, but I was watching. I barely spoke to him unless it was absolutely necessary. I told him, I know you're having an affair. I just don't have proof yet. And when I do, you're moving out. He didn't take me seriously. Maybe he thought I would never find it. Maybe he thought even if I did, I wouldn't kick him out. Either way, he underestimated me. His routine changed completely. He was barely around, but he always came home at night. That was his strategy. Present enough to show he still wanted to be there. He constantly complained that I stopped cooking, stopped doing his laundry, stopped being intimate. He said, I pay all the bills. The least you can do is be intimate. And I refused. I refused to be intimate with a man I believed was cheating. That's when the yelling started. The pushing, the fights. I yelled back. I pushed back. I slapped back. Sometimes I took my daughter and left, but leaving wasn't simple. I stayed at my cousin's house. Her landlord was considered a slumlord. She had no heat, no space. My daughter kept getting sick, so I went back, after he would beg me to return. This went on for nearly a year. Still no proof, only intuition. Sometimes intuition is the evidence. You just don't trust it yet, so you wait for physical proof. And in my case, I felt I needed it for confrontation, in order to be completely done. Then one day, the universe answered. Remember, this was the 80s. No cell phones, no cameras, just house phones. I got a call from a friend. She said she saw him at a French nightclub with Susie, the same woman who lived in my house. I said, that's his god sister. She said, they were dancing close, kissing, gyrating. And I knew she was telling the truth. When he came home, I confronted him. At first, he denied it. Then he admitted it. He said he wanted her because she was a virgin, naive. She listened to everything he said. He wanted her for cooking and cleaning. He wanted me for sex. He said I was too ambitious, too independent, too strong-minded. And that's when I realized something. He didn't want a partner. He wanted someone he could control. That night, I told him to leave. He refused. I took him to court. 6 times. Every judge said the same thing. His name is on the lease, yours isn't. And that's when the real lesson hit me. Always put your name on the lease or the deed. One night, he threatened me with an axe. He said he would chop me up. I said, then get to chopping, because I don't want you anymore. He destroyed the furniture with the axe to scare me, but I wasn't afraid. When you're done, and there is nothing he can do to change it. What I didn't know, he had stopped paying rent for 3 months. He planned to get me evicted, then pay the landlord the back rent, get the lease back in his name, and let me move in again. Once he was back in control, and I was desperate, dependent, and trapped. When I found out, I was shocked. I did not expect an eviction notice. It said I had 72 hours to get out. But here's the difference. He did not know. I had been secretly saving money. I was very close to finishing school. I had been preparing for life without him. I had been planning my escape for a while. I went downstairs and spoke to the landlord. I told her everything. She told me his plan, and she chose to side with me. I paid the back rent. She gave me the lease in my name. I was finally free of him. He had no more hold on me. It was my apartment now. All because I prepared for anything he could have come back to me with. At that point, he stopped trying to control me. I wasn't devastated when I found out he was cheating or who he was cheating with, because I had already made my decision that he was cheating, and he was not going to stop. I had already checked out of the relationship, so the proof didn't break me. It confirmed what I already knew. Sometimes the universe doesn't show you until you are ready. by exposing their betrayal. It freed me. Years later, he married Susie. They had 4 children. They stayed in that same 2-bedroom apartment for decades. She worked a part-time minimum wage job. He worked for the city, and there's nothing wrong with that. But our paths were very different. I finished college, I got a good-paying job. I bought my first home, all within 2 years of our breakup. Since then, I invested in profitable stocks, purchased more than 10 investment properties, diversified into other assets, built stability, built freedom, built options. This isn't about comparison, it's about consequences. When you remove the wrong person from your life, you create room for expansion. Paul and I are on good speaking terms. I'm civil with his wife. There's no bitterness. One day I saw them together, and I leaned over and whispered to her, "Thank you. You took away my headache." And I meant it. She did me a favor and she didn't even know it. Paul would not have left on his own. Another time, Paul said something that revealed everything. He said, "I married a monkey." I immediately got upset. I said, "You should never talk about any woman like that." I thought he meant her appearance, but he didn't. He said, "She does everything I tell her to do. Monkey see, monkey do. She doesn't have a mind of her own." And in that moment, I understood that was what he truly wanted. Then he said something even deeper. "I wish I had stayed with you. I would have had houses, nice cars, boats." He said I was selfish. Then he asked me, "Can I get another chance? Next lifetime?" And I said, "Yes, I will give you another chance. Next lifetime." Because here's the truth. Sometimes people think they know what they want, but when they get it, they realize it wasn't what they needed. In his case, he gave up what he already had for something he thought he wanted, only to come full circle years later and realize what he had was what he truly wanted and needed. The me with issues would say, "I should have never trusted him. He fooled me. He betrayed me. By bringing that woman to live in our house, I'll never trust a man again." And all these years, I'm still focused on the betrayal, on the hurt, and yes, I built walls. I don't care about learning lessons. The me who is working on herself says this: "I trusted him because he behaved like a man who loved me, and I had no reason to believe he would hurt me. But when I realized he was having an affair, that's when I started planning my escape. No drama, no revenge, just preparation." Once he was gone, all I could see were the blessings in the experience. I learned independence, a lesson so valuable, I would not trade it for the world. And yes, if I had to go through it again to learn that lesson, I would, because today, I am grateful. I feel blessed. And the biggest lesson? Never depend on a man for your livelihood. Always have an exit plan, even while you wait for proof. Trust your intuition, but secure your independence. That's how you win. If this story spoke to you, subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And comment below. Have you ever waited for proof when you already knew?